The person you cannot stop thinking about truly does care for you. Even if everything between you feels unclear or confusing, there may be a deeper reason they keep returning to your thoughts. It is not simply because you are lonely, bored, or emotionally weak. Their presence lingers in the quiet moments when your mind relaxes, in the pauses before sleep, or during an ordinary day when their face, voice, or a special memory suddenly comes back without any effort. If you can't stop thinking about someone special, hit like so this message reaches more hearts. You may have tried to move on by pushing these thoughts away, reminding yourself of the distance, silence, or uncertainty between you. You may have questioned whether you were imagining the connection or holding on to hope without reason. Yet no matter how much you distract yourself, they continue to return to your mind. Even when you feel ready to let go, their presence remains quietly with you, making you wonder why they still matter so much. This is not necessarily a sign that something is wrong with you or that you are unable to move forward. It does not automatically mean you are desperate or trapped in the past. Sometimes it simply reflects that, in your experience, the connection still feels emotionally unresolved. The feelings remain because, for you, the story does not yet feel complete, and that is why thoughts of them continue to surface even when you are trying to focus elsewhere. It means something emotional still exists between you, whether it has been spoken out loud or not in clear words. Connections like this are not created by simple logic or careful planning alone. They are not controlled by willpower, no matter how strong it feels. They are formed at a deeper level where emotion, memory, and real meaning come together over time. Comment connected. If there's someone who keeps appearing in your thoughts no matter what. When someone continues to appear in your thoughts without any effort from you, it often means that there is unfinished emotional energy still present between you both. Something was felt deeply, even if it was never fully expressed in words or actions. Something was shared between you, even if it was never clearly defined or labeled properly. This person may be thinking of you as well, even if they do not reach out or speak openly about their feelings right now. Thoughts do not always travel in spoken words or messages. Feelings do not always show themselves through direct action or clear steps. Sometimes people carry emotions silently inside because they feel unsure of what to do with them at this time. They may feel overwhelmed, afraid, or uncertain about the future. They may not know exactly how to act on what they feel, so they keep it inside for now. But just because they stay quiet does not mean they are empty of care or emotion toward you. You may sense them at unexpected times during your day or night. You may suddenly feel warmth, sadness, or longing without knowing why, or feel connected to them even across distance. Strong emotional bonds often work beneath the surface and do not always follow clear timelines. Caring deeply does not disappear simply because you decide it should. The heart moves at its own pace, and when someone has touched your life in a meaningful way, that connection can leave a lasting mark until it is fully understood, healed, or transformed. This does not mean you should wait forever or ignore your own growth. It simply means the connection was real and important to you. Confusion does not erase love. Silence does not erase emotion, and distance does not always mean there are no feelings on the other side. Sometimes it reflects fear, uncertainty, or an inner struggle. Whether you ever receive clear answers or not, your experience remains valid. The thoughts and emotions you carry are not meaningless, and if this person still lives in your mind, it may be because for you, the story does not yet feel complete. That does not mean it will stay this way forever. It only means the connection mattered, and meaningful experiences often take time to settle in the heart. Be gentle with yourself instead of rushing your healing or judging your feelings. Understanding usually comes slowly. Sometimes a connection is meant not to last forever, but to change you, teach you, and remind you of your capacity to love deeply. Even through confusion and silence, what you experienced can still hold lasting meaning. When someone occupies your thoughts so deeply over time, it can feel as though the emotional bond between you is still alive. Even if you no longer speak, circumstances pulled you apart, or silence has lasted longer than expected, your mind may return to them because the connection still feels unfinished to you. Comment connected. If you feel a deep bond with someone even through silence and distance, human beings are often more affected by what feels unresolved than by what has reached a clear ending. You may think of them during life's happiest moments, wishing they were the first person you could tell. Small victories, funny experiences, or beautiful moments can naturally bring them to mind because sharing them once felt meaningful. You may even wonder how they are doing despite being busy with your own life. Sometimes the pull is not just toward the person, but toward the emotional connection you experienced. Meaningful bonds often leave lasting impressions, and silence or distance does not automatically erase those memories or feelings. This is also why the connection may feel confusing. The unconscious mind responds more to meaning and unresolved emotions than to logic or time. If thoughts of them continue, it may be because, for you, the story still feels incomplete. Love that is delayed or uncertain often exists between fear and desire, where one or both people struggle with vulnerability, change, old wounds, or the uncertainty of opening their hearts again. Fear does not erase love completely. It delays it for some time, it hides it temporarily and creates distance where closeness is desired but feels risky. You may wonder why, if they love you, they have not acted yet or reached out in clear ways. Why they have stayed quiet for so long without explanation. Love does not always move in a straight line or follow expected paths. Many people feel deeply but do not know exactly how to act on those strong feelings inside. Some people are emotionally guarded because of past experiences. Some are carrying wounds from earlier relationships that still affect them. Some are stuck between responsibility and desire in their current lives. Some feel unworthy of the love they feel, and some believe they need to fix themselves before they allow closeness again. The mind often returns to what the heart cannot resolve easily. Comment heart. If you believe they're thinking about you too, but something is holding them back. This is why they appear in your thoughts, when you are calm, when you are quiet, or when you are emotionally open without distractions. At night, when distractions fall away, the unconscious speaks more clearly than during busy hours. During the day, when your guard is down, the same natural thing happens without force. Type yes if you want me to reveal why this person is still living in your mind every day. This is not you forcing the thought into your mind. It arises on its own from deeper places. That is an important detail to remember always. Thoughts that come uninvited often come from deeper emotional layers within you. There is also something else happening beneath the surface. When these memories arise, when you think of them, you are not only thinking about who they are as a person, you are also thinking about who you were when you felt connected to them in special ways. Certain people awaken parts of us that stayed dormant with others before. They reflect something back to us that feels familiar, meaningful, or truly alive inside. Losing access to that reflection can feel like losing a part of yourself for a time. This is why the longing feels deeper than simple attraction alone. Distance between two people who care for each other often exists not because love is missing, but because timing, fear, or inner conflict stands in the way for now. You may feel that something is holding both of you back from moving closer. That sense is usually accurate and worth noticing. When emotions remain active without resolution, the psyche keeps the connection alive until it finds understanding or closure. You might also feel moments of emotional confusion from time to time. One day you feel strong and detached from it all, and the next day a small reminder brings everything back strongly. Share this video if you believe real connections never fully disappear, even when things feel unclear. This fluctuation is normal and part of the process. It means your conscious mind is trying to protect you while your emotional mind is still connected underneath. These two parts do not always agree perfectly with each other. Healing does not mean forcing yourself to forget everything completely. It means understanding why the bond exists and what it is asking of you at this stage. Sometimes the connection remains because there is a lesson to be learned from it. Sometimes it remains because communication is not finished between you, and sometimes it remains because both people are slowly growing toward the same emotional truth even if they are not ready at the same time. Emotional timing is rarely synchronized perfectly in life. If you feel that they love you but remain distant, it is likely because they are fighting an internal struggle of their own. They may feel the same pull you feel toward them. They may think of you more than you know at this time. They may wonder if you still care deeply for them too. But instead of moving closer right away, they hesitate because of many reasons. This hesitation often comes from fear of loss, fear of rejection, or fear of changing their current life situation too quickly. Love does not always announce itself loudly with big gestures. Sometimes it hides behind silence and careful steps. Sometimes it waits behind caution for the right moment. Sometimes it watches quietly, hoping for the perfect time to step forward without risk. The absence of action does not always mean the absence of feeling on their part. What matters most right now is not trying to control the final outcome completely. It is understanding what the connection is showing you about yourself and your own growth. It may be teaching you patience in important ways. It may be teaching you self-worth and inner strength. It may be asking you to stop chasing and start trusting the process more, or it may be preparing you to receive clarity when the time is right. Whether that clarity comes through reunion or gentle release, you are not foolish for feeling this way. You are not weak for thinking of them so often. You are responding to a bond that exists beyond surface logic and simple explanations. The mind tries to explain it away with reasons, but the heart recognizes it instantly as real. When something truly matters in life, it does not disappear easily or quickly. If they love you and the distance remains for now, then time and inner growth are doing important work behind the scenes in both of you. Comment heart if this message is speaking directly to what you're feeling right now. Connections like this often move slowly because they carry real depth and meaning. Depth requires readiness, and readiness cannot be rushed. No matter how much we want it for now, allow the thoughts to pass without harsh judgment on yourself. Do not force extra meaning onto them, but do not dismiss them either without thought. Pay attention to how you feel when they appear in your mind, like calm, warmth, sadness, longing, or hope, because all carry useful information. Your emotions are speaking to you clearly in these moments. Remember this important truth that what is meant for you does not require constant struggle or pain. It may require patience, but it will not demand that you abandon yourself or your needs. Whether this connection evolves into something tangible or slowly fades with time, it is shaping you in ways you cannot yet fully see or understand. And if one day the distance closes naturally, it will be because both of you are finally ready to meet without fear holding you back. Until then, trust that what you are experiencing has real meaning, even if the meaning is not fully clear yet in this moment. Type yes. If you want me to reveal why this person is still living in your mind every day, when you think about someone again and again, when their presence stays in your mind from morning until night, there is often a quiet connection happening beneath the surface of daily life. Many times they are thinking about you too, even if they never say it out loud or even fully admit it to themselves. Yes, they love you, even if those words have never been spoken between you. Love does not always appear in obvious ways that everyone can see clearly. Love does not always appear through bold actions or immediate decisions. Sometimes it shows itself through silence, patience, careful restraint, or waiting for what feels like the right time. The person you cannot stop thinking about may care for you deeply, yet deep feelings do not always mean they are ready to move forward. Love and readiness are not always the same. Someone can love with all their heart and still feel unable to take the next step because of where they are emotionally. They may feel unworthy of you, fear hurting you, believe the timing is wrong, or feel that life is too complicated right now. Old wounds from past relationships, betrayal, disappointment, or loss may still shape their choices. They may worry that getting closer could risk losing you altogether, so instead of reaching out, they hesitate. Instead of admitting everything they feel, they keep those emotions inside because it feels safer than facing the possibility of being hurt. This does not always mean they care too little. Sometimes it means their feelings are so strong that they become overwhelming. Shallow feelings often lead to impulsive actions, but deep love can make a person more cautious and reflective. When a connection truly matters, fear begins asking difficult questions, and those fears can influence decisions even when the heart wants something entirely different. Drop a heart if you sense they're thinking about you too, but something is holding them back. When love is casual, people move freely without much concern. They text without worry or overthinking. They speak without fear of consequences. They step forward without thinking too much about what could go wrong later. But when love feels meaningful and like it could change everything important, people slow down naturally. They become aware of what is truly at stake in the relationship. They start to think about responsibility, about impact, and about what could go wrong if not handled well. Drop a heart. If this message is speaking directly to what you're feeling right now, they start to protect not only themselves, but also the other person they care for deeply. Many people wonder why distance can exist even when love is present and strong. This distance is not created by a lack of emotion or care. It is created by an inner struggle happening inside them. On one side of their heart, they feel you strongly and sense your presence, your energy, and your importance to them. On the other side, they feel pressure, fear, responsibility, and doubt pulling in different directions. These two sides pull against each other, creating tension and confusion within. They may ask themselves difficult questions over and over again about the future. What if I cannot give them what they deserve in life? What if I disappoint them badly? What if I ruin something beautiful between us? What if I am not healed enough yet to move forward safely? What if my past issues follow me into this connection and cause problems? What if getting closer makes things more complicated instead of better for both? What if I lose control of my emotions completely? What if I lose them entirely because of my fears? These questions do not come from indifference or lack of care. They come from caring deeply and understanding that love has real weight and consequences. So they choose distance as a form of protection for now, not protection from you personally, but protection from their own overwhelming emotions. They may step back not because they do not want you, but because the strength of their feelings feels overwhelming. Sometimes distance becomes the only way they know how to manage emotions that seem too big to handle. They may never have learned how to love without fear, believing silence is safer than vulnerability and distance is easier than risking their heart. For the person waiting on the other side, this can be deeply confusing and lead to constant questions about whether the connection is real. Real love does not always appear in simple or predictable ways. Sometimes it looks hesitant, fearful, or hidden behind practical excuses and careful waiting. A person who loves deeply yet stays distant may think about you when they wake up, before they fall asleep, and during quiet moments throughout the day. They replay old conversations, imagine a future with you, then retreat again as fear takes over. This emotional back and forth can be exhausting, even if you never see the struggle yourself. They may believe they need to heal first, become stronger, or feel more emotionally prepared before they can truly offer love. They may even convince themselves that you deserve someone better than they believe they are right now, so they create distance, hoping it protects both of you from pain. Yet feelings that are held back do not simply disappear. Even when unspoken, they can continue to shape thoughts, emotions, and the way someone quietly carries your place in their heart. It stays alive inside. It grows quietly in its own way. It waits for better conditions, and even in silence, it continues to exist strongly. Even in distance, it remains present and meaningful. Love does not always look like active pursuit or constant contact. Sometimes it looks like restraint, careful waiting, and someone fighting their own fears every day while still holding you tightly in their heart. If you feel this profound connection deeply, it is not your imagination creating false hope. As true emotional bonds exist in energy, thought, and intuition that go far beyond words or visible actions alone, this painful distance does not mean an absence of love, but rather that their inner courage has not yet caught up to the immense depth of their feelings. Over time, internal conflicts can soften with growth. Fears can lose their tight grip, and wounds can heal naturally, allowing the space between you to close in its own unique way. Until that happens, pulling back serves as their quiet shield, a temporary pause to breathe and maintain emotional control when caring too much feels dangerous and completely overwhelming. Comment. Meaning. If this touched you deeply and awakened something inside, for you, however, that distance feels incredibly sharp and heavy on the heart because you are deeply sensitive to the subtlest emotional shifts and changes around you. You do not simply recognize silence as empty space, you feel it intensely in your chest, your thoughts, and in the quiet, recurring moments when your mind keeps returning to the exact same person without effort. You notice the precise moment warmth becomes caution. Yet the strongest connections often move through the longest silences, not because they are broken, but because they are still forming their true shape. Some bonds are too deep to disappear cleanly, stretching across time and waiting patiently for resolution rather than immediate answers. There is an unspoken bond between you that survives without constant messages, remaining so alive that a random song or name can instantly stir your soul. Like this video, comment which part hit you hardest, and subscribe for more messages that heal the heart and soul.